In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a new version of the slip circle charm that I had made last month. And this one is called the Double Fancy Slip Circle Charm. So I had come up with this design, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is a bunch of the charms put together to make a bracelet. So that's what it looked like. And then Tracy DeBoer had wanted to use more than one color on her charm, and she wanted it to be a little bit thicker. So she made some adjustments and sent me the pictures, and this is what she came up with. So I think it's pretty cool, and I have decided to do a tutorial for this. So you will need one loom, and you want to have the pins set in a staggered pattern so they're not in line with one another. And you want the arrows to be facing towards you so that all of the opened ends are facing you. And for your rubber bands, you will need 14 bands. So if you want 2 different colors, you will need 6 of each of those colors. So I have 6 fuchsia and 6 pink. And then you will need 2 other bands. One will be the center circle, and the other one is going to make the loop at the top that's going to hold the bands together. So you're going to start with your first color, so I'll take fuchsia, and on the loom, you can really do it anywhere on the loom, you just are going to work in a circular pattern. So I'm actually going to start on the 4th pin up in the center row, and I'm going to place my first band straight up, and now I'm just going to work my way around the circle with this pin being my center point. So I will just go in a clockwise direction. Just going to that next pin over every time, and I want to push this down. And now I'm going to continue around the circle again. So I'll be starting on this same position that I started the lower bands with. And now I'm going to take my next color, and I'm just going to work my way around again. Now this center pin is going to get very full, so you just want to make sure that you keep pushing that down. And then finally I'm going to put a cap band on this center pin, and I want this band to be doubled. So in order to do that, I'm just going to place it on this pin, twist, and then put it back on. And you can also double that on your hook if you want, and to do it that way, you would just place it on your hook, twist, put it back on, and then place it on the pin. So either way is fine. And so now I want to remove all of this upper layer of bands that I placed on, and I want them to come up through the middle, through the cap band, and go back on themselves. So I'm going to go in the reverse order of what they were placed on. So the band that's on the top is going to be this one that goes diagonally and out to the left. So that's going to be the first one that I will grab. So I'm going to take my hook and go down through the cap band. I'm going to push back on these 2 upper bands, and I'm grabbing this first band in line. I'm holding this in place with my thumb, the cap band, so it doesn't come off. And then I'm just pulling this band back on itself. And so now I'm going to go in the reverse order, so I will grab this next band. Again, I'm going to hold the cap band, and this is going to come off and just go back on itself. And now this one's going to be the next band, so I'm getting inside of this cap band, grabbing this pink band that's on top and pulling it down. And as this gets wider, you're going to be able to see your bands a lot clearer. So now I'm grabbing this next one. And then again, this is the next one in line. And then finally, I have one more of this lighter pink band. I'm going to get that on my hook and pull that straight up. And so now what I want to do is I want to remove the bottom light pink band from all of the pins and make a slip knot with all of these bands. So you can see on the pins you have this fuchsia band at the bottom and then the 2 light pink. So I want to grab this center rubber band I'm going to pull it over the top and into the middle, and that's going to make a slip knot that's going to go up against this white band. So I'm just going to go around to all of the pins, grab this middle band, pull it over the top, and I'm just going to do that for all 6. So I'll come around to the other side. And then finally this one at the top you're going to have to grab from the side and pull that over. And now I want all of these slip knots to be nice and tight up against here, so I'm just going to take my hook and make them snug against. And so now what I want to do is that same thing with all of the lower bands. So again, I'm going to start on the same pin. It's going to be the one that goes diagonally up and to the left. So I'm going to reach my hook down through. I'm going to grab that next band that's in line here, which is the band I just mentioned, and that's going to come out and back on itself. And I'm going to again go down through the middle, and you might need to push these bands down that are on the pins just to have room. It's going back on itself. I'm going to push all of these down just so I can have room. And so now I'm going to get the next one. And also as I'm doing it, I want to try and make sure that this band is straddling the band that I already did, just so it has a neater look to it. And onto this next one. And now finally one left. It's going straight up. And now once again, I'm going to remove the lower part of this fuchsia band. So now it's going to be the very bottom band on all of the pins. So I'm just going over the top and into the middle. It's going to again make a slip knot that's going on top of that first slip knot. And now the other side here. And then again, I'm going to have to grab this top one from the side. And now I'm just going to take a minute and make sure that these are nice and snug up against that white band. So I'm just going to push on either side to make sure it's up against. And so now I want to remove this from the loom. But I want to be careful because I don't want any of the slip knots to get loose. So I'm just going to carefully take my hook and go down through and take this off. And so now what I want to happen is I want the lower band to come up through the top band. So I'm taking this light pink and I'm just going to very carefully get it to come up through the fuchsia band. I'm going to do that for all 6. Just be careful because you don't want the slip knots to come loose and have your bands come off. It's a delicate process. And we have one more here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these outer loops that I have just pulled up through, and I'm going to loop them together. So I'll start here at the top. I'm putting my hook down through. I'm just going to grab this next light pink band. I'm going to pull it back through the other one. I'm just going to work my way around the circle. So I'm grabbing this next light pink band. It's getting pulled through. And now I'll go around to the next one. So I'm only doing this light pink. I'm not doing anything to the fuchsia because that's already linked through the light pink. And now I'm on to the next one. And now what I want to do is take my last rubber band. So I have white that's going to hold this together. And what I want to do is take my hook and I'm going to go through these next 2 pink bands that we had already looped, these lighter pink. So now you'll see I have 3 rubber bands on my hook. I'm going to take this white band and it's going to go through these 2 pink bands and then also through this last one. So it's got to make it through all 3, and then I'm going to place this back on my hook. I'm going to loop the end that's closest to the end of the hook through the other one to make a slip knot, and I want to pull that pretty tight. And then here is your charm. And then here's the other side again. So I think it has a pretty unique look to it. So I'll show you some of the other ones that I had made. This one is blue and purple. And then this one is purple and teal. And then here's the one that I had shown you earlier that is light blue and pink. So I think they would make pretty cool earrings, or you can string them together to make a bracelet or a necklace. And I'll be making a video soon to show you how to do that. And I would like to thank Tracy DeBoer for sharing her version of this charm with us. So again, this is the Double Fancy Slip Circle Charm. And I hope you guys had as much fun making it as I did. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching!